Hi, Dave Csanda here with this week's Buzzbite Report for the Upper Midwest at anglingbuzz.com. As you can see by the snow on the trees behind me, we're still into that inconsistent weather pattern for early spring. One day you're out, you think you could get a suntan and it's 62 degrees, and the next day you got snow cover. But in general, the ice has really retreated. The ice fishing is pretty much done in the lower portion of Michigan and South Dakota. Ice is out across central Minnesota from Minneapolis to Wilmer to Big Stone Lake. We have a little bit of ice fishing that's hanging on in the northern portions now of North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and probably the upper peninsula of Michigan. But by and large, it's pretty much done, and we're going to just be doing the very last of our ice fishing tips on our site this week because ice fishing is pretty much drawn to a close. Now, the good thing is river fishing is really starting to kick in for walleyes in a lot of places where the season is open. The Detroit River in the southeast portion of Michigan. We've got the wolf and the fox over in Wisconsin. The wolf currently has some slow no wake regulations because of the high water. They don't want to do damage to shorelines. We have good walleye fishing on all throughout the Wisconsin River. Good reports, probably the best that I've seen, have come from the Red Wing area of the Mississippi. Between Minnesota and Wisconsin, and of course we have really good walleye fishing out in the Dakotas, out on the Missouri River. The Rainy River is opening up along the northern Minnesota Ontario border. The accesses are open at Frontier and Birchdale, and little by little, as the weather gets warmer, the rest of the river will open up. So guys are out there catching some nice walleyes already, but the bite hasn't been real hot and fast. In fact, I'd say across the board, the walleyes are being caught throughout our river systems. It just hasn't really punched in yet, but it's going to happen real quickly. Some of the best action that we have right now is all around the Great Lakes. It's the steelhead fishing because we've had snow melt and some rain, and it's flushing current down into the river mouths, and it's really drawing those fish up heavily now in packs. So if you're a steelheader, this is definitely the time to grab your waders and go. And if you're among the early birds for some open water fishing on natural lakes, you go to southern Minnesota, southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin, and you've got your good panfish action starting to already kick in some of the back bays. But again, with the inconsistent weather that we have had, one day the fish will be in and the next day they'll be out. Bluegills and crappies in, out. They're flushed in and out by the inconsistent weather. So they could be anywhere from the first drop off outside of a bay up into the very shallow portions of a back bay itself if the weather is nice. Real common for those fish to retreat to some little holes in the middles of bays when the weather gets cold and then just shift up shallow again. So when the weather gets nice and consistent, the shallow water fishing action is going to absolutely explode. For right now, you have to do a little bit of hunting to find the most active fish. But in general, it's just good to be out in the boat again, and we're just going to see more and more of that in the weeks ahead. So what I suggest you do is go out to the site now and click on our state-by-state guide, talk to our different guys out in the field as far as what their fishing reports are, and as I always like to say, they're going to help you put more and bigger fish in the boat in the weeks ahead.